Okay, it's time to reassemble this Kia 3.3 V6. We have everything prepped. Everything is clean. Clean on that, clean on the cylinder head. It's not warped. You got up to 0.02 of an inch to slide under. It passed. Good. So there's a couple critical notes here. We got to put a little bit of schmutz. Like I said, left hand. It's weird that in the book it says right hand here and then left hand here. It's kind of weird, but they want a little bit of schmutz on both sides, just the tip of some RTV to do the reassembly. And we did get new head bolts, so when it comes time for the head bolts, 30 foot-pounds, and then 120 degrees, and then 90 degrees. And there's going to be the ultimate test to see if these threads are okay. The ultimate torque down. Another thing is these are one-sided head gaskets. You'll see the stamp left hand, LH. The other side will be RH. So without further ado, we will try and get these, at least this head, because this was the one we thought was a problem, back in. I'm going to try and get you guys in on the footage. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to put a little bit of schmutz. And they were only talking a few millimeters. So on the head, it's literally like that. And that on both sides. Make sure your head gasket's clean. It looks that way. Should be totally clean and ready to go. So, put a little schmutz on it. Just dab. Just a dab. Dab. And a dab. All right. So, it's all at once. Don't know why they want it, but it's what they say. Now we will put our head gasket in. 1, 2. Perfect. Now we'll wrestle the head in. Whoa. Okay. A little bit of luck. Should go in pretty easy. Oh, I can't see nothing. That's where that's gotta go. about right. Wiring harness. Hold this up. That's on the dowel. That's on the dowel. Make sure none of your wiring caught. Before we put bolts in. Okay. That side slips in. That side slips in. And looks like we are golden. That looks flush. That looks flush. Everything looks good. So, time for some new headbolts. They're right from Felpro. Unlike Subaru, these have to be non-lubricated. Just dry holes. Doesn't really make sense to me, but it's what they want, it's what they get. So all we did was brake clean. Put the straw right down there until the brake cleaner was clean. So we got all 8. Or however many. I know it's more than 8. It might be 8. Now, All Data did make a little mistake here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm pretty sure that's what they were going with on that. We're going to leave this here so we can just follow it nicely. And first by hand, run them down. You should be able to just hand go with them. Two. 3. 4. 5. Yeah. These take a while. Right in. That one going? There you go. That one is not going in. Huh. It all should, because everything is doweled and pinned. Everything's doweled and pinned. Where's that one not going in? That is strange. No. Alright, I'm gonna cut the camera. I'm gonna get all these snug, and then we're gonna continue on. So we're about to see if this key will make torque. Believe it or not, guys, I actually have to get this 1.5 M11 by 1.5 by 130 millimeter chaser for the last bolt that didn't go in. I screwed in like 5 times, screwed it out, bolt went in. We're all snugged up here. So we're about to start the torque sequence on the front head and see if we can actually make torque on all of them. So we're going to start with number 1 here, which is up top. Okay, I'm going to go down to number 2, right down below. And we did make sure we removed our paper towels. I almost screwed that up on the second time. And number 2, not torquing. Number 2 gave out. That was not the one we thread chased, but number 2 is crapped out. That's that for number 2. Number 3, which is supposed to be right next to it. At this point, we're just going to see what holds, what doesn't hold. Number 3 doesn't even reach torque. Doesn't even make a beep. So that one's stripped. Number 4. Number 4 just crapped out. And like I said, guys, we're at the bare minimum here. We're at 28 foot-pounds for the bare minimum. So I'm just going to stop here because there's no point in continuing on. We got to order the thread repair kit and get this thing back in order. So that's what it's coming down to. That's why the front was so low on torque. They all just ripped out, unfortunately. So we'll get back to you. The thread repair kit, I'm not really going to do a video on because there's a lot of in-depth videos on doing them for these engines. I'm going to pull the head back off, try and reuse the head gasket, just clean the silicone off the edge, and that's that. So, kind of an unboxing video here. This is going to be for the Kia. What did we all get? We got lots of goodies for the 500 bucks. This is supposed to be a total complete kit to repair everything. So we're about to see what we got. Kind of a, you know. So what did we get? We got Thread Locker, we got Tap Magic, we got, like I said, this is all hand packed, you can tell. 1, 2, and I'm doing this one-handed, guys. So 5, 8, 11. 4 flute. We got a supposed to be a modified drill bit, so you can't drill into the block, even if you went too deep. We got 3 flute. We got instructions. M11 by 1.5. Those are it, guys. That's what's gonna fix it. These time shirts, heavy duty, coarse thread on the outside and the same thread on the inside. I'm assuming this is gonna be the same stuff here. Oh, this one. Oh, okay, that's how it opens. So I think this is gonna be the same. No, this is the jig. So you get a jig to actually bolt down to the cylinder head with 2 different inserts from what I believe. One is for the drill bit, one is for the tap. So we got all that. Got a measurement tool. And let me open up the instructions here. Let's have a gander. Let's have a gander at these instructions. So, those will be coming with all kits within exception of insert tile. This is from NS3 tool, or however you want to say it, from Hoon Solutions. So these are all the goodies that it's supposed to come with. So read all the instructions. We definitely will be, and we will also be watching the YouTube videos again. But as you can see, that's how it works. So everything is set up, jigged up. You can't screw it up. And that's what this kit is all about. This is what you're paying the money for, is the kit that is just absolutely perfect. So cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this is literally it, you know. Kia 3.3, 3.5, 3.8. And, you know, we already have new head bolts, so we're not worried about that. And it tells you all the information, all the measurements, everything you gotta do to make it absolutely perfect. Better than factory. So I'm kind of excited. So shout out to Hoon Solutions. You know, it's your only way out besides buying a used motor or a new engine. So you pick your poison. We are back after putting in 16 time shirts. We're going to see, will it torque? And God, I hope so. Oh, we're back at it. My torque wrench is shut. Up here is first runner up is this guy. So he actually torques. Next up, number 2. We're going for the minimum right now, 27.5. Because I spoke to Hoon Solutions, said, do you suggest anything different with the torque sequence after I use your kit? And he said no, except apply a little bit of oil on the threads of the head bolt. So we all know when we add a lubricant to threads, then less torque equals more torque. So it's not really 27.5, it's more like 30. This is where they screwed up on the all data. I believe I talked about in the last video. Where it goes 5676. That's not correct. But judging by the pattern, where we're going to be at. Alright, awesome. So now, next step is 118 degrees. Pretty much 120. It's 118 to 122. I gotta put my, be on the lesser side of things because I think they go a little bit overkill with everything. And what I want to do here have a fancy torque wrench, just take some color, give yourself a reference mark. That's what I used to do on Subarus before I went fancy with this digital torque wrench guy. And it also gives you a second glimmer of verification here. So we know we're like over here. So 90 would be here, 180 would be here, so 120 would be like over here. We're only doing 120 degrees. So back at it. Go. Good. Hit the wrong button. Recalibrate, the re-zeroes it out for the next 118 degrees. 20. Alright. Got tolerances, right? If you do overshoot, this one actually does tell you what you overshot it by. So we got one more torque procedure here. And that is 88 to 92 degrees. So we're going to shoot right for that 90. That'll be it. If it holds, it holds. So again, one, we know 45, 90, right? Well, that, 45, 90. Basic geometry. Thing I don't like about these digital torque wrenches is the bolt skips like that, it's not going to be accurate. That's why we put a little bit of lube on them, but I can tell we're going to overshoot it. Maybe not. Alright. Overshot it maybe by a smidgen, but when it jumps, they don't register that. So that's why the mark helps, because then you got an actual visual of 90 degrees. We got 91. Ain't too bad. So again, same thing with this one, number 2. And that's why I like to go for long sweeps too. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. That was 1, 2. Number 3. That's 3. Perfect. 5. Perfect. Like I said, a good long sweep, a lot better than letting it calculate loads. I'm only registering 11 degrees there, but I know I'm way past that. That's why the lubrication, if they were heavily lubricated like a Subaru, this would be no problem. I stopped at 32 degrees here, but our mark is saying 90. So I don't want to go much further than that. 43 degrees, but I know I went 90 because I saw the mark. That's why that double verification, or if you had it, they also sell these angle dials that you can set up. The digital one is good if the bolt doesn't skip like that. bolts were totally dry, each one would skip. Here we go. So close, 82 degrees. There we go. One more. That's it, baby. Front head is in. That is all there is to do that. Like I said right there. 30 foot-pound, 120, 90. That's it. Like I said, they did screw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. No, that's a typo. This front head is on, secure. Waiting. They gypped me one head bolt for the rear. So it's supposed to come Monday. Today is now Sunday morning. So tomorrow. And then we can get that one on. Timing, all that happy, everything back together, and then give it back. So again, Hoon Solutions, guys, I mean, this was right on video. It comes with everything. It comes with the jigs. It comes with the inserts for the jigs. It comes with measuring tools, 2 taps. I did have to buy another bottle of thread locker because that wasn't enough. It was enough for one bank. But Hoon Solutions, $500 or $4 grand for a used motor that questionable. So at least now this thing, once I get the rear head on, I will say this thing will be a bulletproof engine. So awesome. I'm gonna put my magical torque wrench away and call it a night because it is like 4 in the morning. I do have work on second shift today. So all right. So we're getting ready to try the rear heads. Got everything really cleaned up. Got our new head gasket here. Cleaned up our cylinder head. Less than 2,000 of an inch of warpage. We're good. Cleaned them up really nice. So at this point, we'll schmutz on both sides of the gasket here. Put the gasket on, put the head on. Let's see if we can actually torque this thing down. And that's going to be the real question. Come on. Right, so we're about to start our rear head torque sequence. We got to drop the head on. The bolts in. The back is a little bit different than the front. So consider the right hand. And with the right hand, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one actually is correct. So we're gonna do it. We snuck them all up. So we're gonna do it. We're starting off at 30 foot-pounds. Say foot-pounds or inch-pounds? Hang on. 30 foot-pounds. I hope I didn't do the front like that. Now I'm gonna double check when we're done. I doubt it. Because inch-pounds is like nothing. So anyway, 30 foot-pounds. I snugged them up. Any day now. What's going on here? Here. What? I know I hand threaded them all in. Got them all to the bottom. Here we go. 30 foot-pounds there. First part, second part, 120 degrees. You color a piece of your bolts, that way you know 90, it's not going to be 180, but it's going to be 120. Okay. Number 3. Stop it about there. Because it was skipping. We talked about that with no oil, skipping, and changes our numbers. Old number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Right. We're all torqued down. Was that about it? Next up, I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning on the cam carrier surfaces. We're gonna get our cams in, and I'm gonna make a little video of how our timing looks. We're on the home stretch at this point, so it's pretty cool, pretty awesome. Got a little worried, you know, when we went to torque our front head down and, well, you saw it, didn't even hit 30 foot-pounds for the initial. But we're in pretty damn good shape now. So, looking forward to getting this thing running, reliable, never to be torn apart like this again. So, when I get into something interesting, I will let you know. Can't really do the camshafts on camera because there's no room to do so. But it's a matter of getting the teeth to line up with your marks, and that's that. But we will continue this in-depth video as we go get there. So this is ultimately the home run here. Got our camshafts in, or timing. Can't really see it, but timing's in. Take a screenshot of this between your left-hand side, right-hand side. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. I believe I am. One's left, one's right, but you can see it in the pictures here. It's only saying 4.3 foot-pounds for your cam caps, so that's pretty much quarter-inch ratchet. You got it snug, and then you snug it a little bit more. Same with our timing tensioners. One thing I wanted to say about the timing tensioner is when you compress it, you don't need a C-clamp or anything. All I used was a staple to lock it in place, so that way we can actually get this side in on the rear bank. Also, wanted to say, this stuff right here, this Vistorque, awesome stuff. That's what we've been using to mark everything that we've already been through. That's all the orange you see. Awesome stuff to let you know that you already hit it. It's good. Nothing to worry about. We also did it down below for our timing tensioner there. For our tensioners, since the bolts are so small, I mean, look at those. They're tiny. I'm using a little bit of Loctite glue to have a little bit of extra insurance, because we don't want anything to back off in the future. So we're gonna get that tensioner on, and at that point it's gonna be time to get our timing cover on. So I'm gonna have to clean this up and go through our box of goodies to find the gaskets. There should be 3 gaskets. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to see if we actually have all those, because we don't want coolant seeping into the engine. And those are what those 3 gaskets actually do, is keep the coolant away. So I will be showing a video of actually getting the timing cover on, because it was a little tricky. Alright, it was a little tricky. So definitely going to show a video on that. More or less, once I have it on, I'm going to be pulling it back off. But you'll see it goes in an extreme angle to actually go in or come out. And once we do that, then I guess we can do our crossover pipe over there, our valve covers. Obviously, after the timing cover, our oil pan is going to go on too. But we're coming down to the nitty-gritty of getting this thing hopefully running with no cam crank correlation codes, and give it back to the customer. So we're doing good. We're doing good here. So we're getting ready for the big timing cover. After getting everything else done, when doing your timing cover, you want to make sure your wiring harnesses are all pushed back, so that way everything's out of the way. We're going to dry fit this to start, because I want to show you guys how to do it. The car's on all 4 wheels. We have the jack on the compressor down there pushing the engine upwards. And I'm going to show you how easy this cover is going to go in. And it's exactly how you want to pull it out too. So, I hope camera is good enough for this. But when it comes to your time cover, you're going to put the schmutz on the engine block side because you're going to be jostling and banging this thing around a little bit. Get to your back camshaft over here. You want to overshoot it down below and go back up. And then we're going to go on. Just like that. There are 2 dowel rods on here. I know they're in. I have yet to feel them. But that's the gist of it. You're gonna want to get it where this side. You're not gonna be in the center here. You're gonna be on the floor furthest back. Pull it out. Same thing. You go down. You go in the center over here. Like I said, since you're going to be doing a lot of jostling, you want to put your schmutz RCB on your engine block side, and then get the cover on. It'll be as simple as that, but that's my whole trick, is that rear camshaft is going to hold you out, so you want to overshoot it for your cam cover, so that way it'll actually go down and then right in perfectly. Like I said, we didn't mark any of these bolts. There's a lot of bolts here, but these are all the same. These are different. Those 2 are the same, and those 3 are different. But if you look, you only have an A, B, C, D, E. So A, B, C, D, E, and the way I marked it was 12 millimeter long, 14 millimeter long, 14, really long 14 millimeter. Guess which one that is? And then 10 mils. The E's are down here. 3 10 mils. What you want to do with those though is make sure on your block side you put schmutz there, there, and there, so that way, and also over here, so that way you don't have any oil leaks. All right, so just keep that in mind. To put sealant there, it really wasn't specific with the sealant. It kind of was. I forget what page it was on. It's probably under there. But just like the Lincoln, sealant, 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 and around all the bolt holes, it's going to be sealant, so that way you don't have any oil leaks. So I'm going to go in the house to find the new 3 gaskets. One of them is an O-ring. and the other two are, they're O-rings, but they're specific. And we're gonna get this on. I just showed you how to put it on, take it off. We douched out both sides to make sure there was no aluminum shavings. And so this cover's ready to go on. So we're gonna throw this cover on next, and then probably do the crossover pipe on that side. And this is literally the home stretch here, guys. Getting this thing back together. Got all the nitty-gritty done. The stuff that I can't, you know, there was no way for me to get on camera. This timing cover, all the bolts for that. The serpentine belt is mounted. Water pump puller is tightened up. You know, everything's good there. The crossover pipe, you know, going across both banks, that's in. Had to use the bore scope again, but it went in a lot easier than coming out. And the intake manifolds on both sides, same thing, easier going in than coming out. I already mounted up the rear valve cover. If you're curious about the torque sequence for that, take a screenshot of that. That's how you do the rear. At this point, we're going to be doing the front. Front is different because, you know, you got your high pressure fuel pump with your piston that goes up and down. So what do we want to do? Even though we probably could reuse these old gaskets, these silicone gaskets here, I already bought new ones just for the fact of the matter. When I do a head job, when I buy my bulk parts in bulk, not that. How do I word that? When I'm planning on doing a car, there's some parts that I always guarantee to change. And one of them is the valve cover gasket. This is still very, very malleable. But there's some things I don't like the center part of the gasket is hard as plastic. Maybe not, but still probably be okay, usable. But since we're already in here, grab my medical pliers and pull them out. Like I said, this is still it's not hard as plastic. Totally reusable, but I ordered it before actually pulling everything apart. And the center guy here. So that's that. Let's grab our new one. Start throwing them in. These are from Mail. Pretty good brand. I use them to go. I trust them like Velcro. I've never had an issue with either brand. And so, just a matter of getting everything lined up, shoved into its home, and there's really no, like I said, if one way doesn't fit, flip it around, she'll fit. That's a little tight around there. All right, so good there? Okay, yeah, we're good there. I keep checking to see if there was an up or down on them, but it doesn't look that way. They just go in, tucked away in their home. But like I said, these silicone rubber gaskets, generally, you know, if it's a higher mileage engine, yeah, you want to replace it. Even if it's not leaking, just do it. These lower mileage engines, they're reusable. You can reuse them quite a bit before they're no good anymore, because it's literally what they are, is rubber. There's nothing special to them. That's all that. And on the male kit, it comes with a new center gasket. You want the top, obviously, just like we pulled it out. You want that to be on top. You don't want it twisted or anything like that. We'll shove that in. And that's really all there is to it. I didn't get a new gasket for the fuel pump area because these gaskets are so malleable, and it just totally didn't cross my mind to do so, but they are very soft still. We get plenty of life out of it. If it leaks, we'll replace it, but I didn't see any leaks pulling it out. I don't assume to see any going in. Now, let's see. How good are you in the shot here? Because I can't really see much. Trying to get you in as close as I can. We already cleaned the surface off both of the cylinder head and the high pressure fuel pump. Moved wiring out of the way the best we could. Cleaned up the surfaces, obviously, I already said that. The next thing we got to do, just like the rear, you got to put a little bit of schmutz right there and in the back where the timing cover meets the cylinder head. So that way you don't have any leaks. Let me get my schmutz. Which is still very soft because I used it for the rear a couple hours ago. You just want to put a little dabble. You don't have to go crazy on like Ford that says over 1/4 inch. If you remember that video. Same with the front. If we can get down there. Might have to put it on our finger and then dabble it on manually. Because there's not a lot of room on this. And I'll spread out the way it wants to spread out. Put that back. So at this point, we're ready for our valve cover here. So I want to slide some of this wiring under. Free this up. That's right, in the front we pulled the spark plugs out to give us more wiggle room to actually pull this whole assembly out. Now watch our water pipe out in front. Now I got that guy under. Make sure the gasket ain't got caught and ripped out. And it's mainly going to be our wire harnesses here, folks. Something's hanging us up. It's hanging us up. Oh, we're so close. Something ain't happy. What is it? That. Make sure none of your wiring harnesses got caught under the valve cover gasket. And also pull it up a little bit. Just check to make sure nothing's hanging. All feels good. We'll know if there's a leak pretty quickly. This gasket right here, I know I ruined it trying to pull it out. You could see the wire hanging. Don't worry about that. I went to the local Kia dealer, and for $8, there's the part number. That's the gasket, 2 bolts. You can remove it. If I were to do this job again, I would know to just remove it to begin with. Just so that way I got caught on this tab in the back of the sensor. In the rear, I didn't have that issue. I just was able to slide it up nice and it came out. But in the front, I got caught there and it ripped it all to shreds coming out. So we did order, well, not even order, they had it in stock, which was real nice. So at this point, again, if you label your bags, it makes it really easy to figure out what goes where. And we can get things done here. Making sure they're all, see, I believe these upper ones were a little bit shorter than the rest. We'll know in the end. I'm going to put all the regular size ones in first. And just kind of drop them in the hole to begin with, and then we're going to start our torque procedure here. There are, what, 18 volts I'm seeing. I kind of want to flip this upside down, because they're kind of showing the fuel pump in the, oh wait, no, never mind. I had a really long day at work, guys. It wasn't even funny. They actually gave me the day off because I went to work. I worked 12 hours. I got off of work. And they called me back 3 hours later. And then I wound up going back to work for another, oh, what was it? 8 hours? So it was a little bit ridiculous. And I told them this weekend, don't call me. I want to get this car done. Get back to the client. Because work is work, but my hobby, I like doing my hobby. I like being here in the garage. I like doing this stuff. This is what I really enjoy. Which is also why I do videos for you guys. Now, I'm kind of moving. We got a lot of wiring to do in the end. And you know, after I get this cover on, oh, okay. Yeah. After I get this cover on here, probably next up would be high pressure fuel pump. And after high pressure fuel pump, what do we got left? Intake plenum. And then before we put the upper intake on, we'll sort out this wiring. I'm gonna have to look through my old photos to actually see where things got mounted up. It'll make life easy. That's why, you know, stuff like these more modern cars that are more complex, it really helps to take photos of everything. So that way you're like, oh yeah, I remember. Not a big deal. That's way too short. Okay. I figured, let's see. We're almost out of bolts here. Got 3 left. We got one down there. Again, the wiring harness on the front is really gonna screw you up a little bit because it's gonna be hiding a lot of stuff. And I know in the front I did lose one, but I did go to the store and get a replacement. So don't ask me what size. I just brought a sample with me. I believe it was 8 by 1.25, and I just dropped that one. But, you know, if you ever lose a bolt or nut, for me, Ace Hardware or Lowe's or Home Depot is your best bet to get a replacement here. Some of the because wiring harness comes later. Got those two and those two. Where's in? This guy, I believe, is going to go. We might have to get more hardware tomorrow, depending. We'll see what happens. I'm going to actually put that in the bag. I swear when I pulled everything out, it went pretty nice. I don't have... Alright, well, we'll take care of that tomorrow. A receipt so I know what I have to buy. As for the torque sequence here, so we start, what does it look like? It looks like down here. At first, we don't need the socket. Start at 1. Where's 2? Where is number 2? I see 12. There's 2. So in the beginning, I kind of just setting them down a little bit. Make sure the hand threading process starts. You don't want to go crazy with it. And even in the end with these valve covers, you don't really go crazy. 1, 2. Where's number 3? 3 is over here. So, I mean, these are plastic. They're not meant to hold pressure or anything. They're just meant to keep oil from pouring out from valves, from the cam spinning around. So there's 3. 4. 4 buried. 4 we might have to get a bolt for it. Because I'm not seeing it. And 5 is the one I said I got a replacement bolt, and I know with 5, those at my local store are 10mm, which no, because I already have 10mm on here. It's going to be, I think, 8. They changed the size of the head, but the threads are the same. So it is what it is. It works fine. You know, put it somewhere obvious. Don't hide it where it's like, oh man, I'm going nuts. I can't get that bolt out. You know, put it somewhere that you can actually see it and be like, okay, that one's different. So threads are the same. That's what I really like about my local Ace, because they actually have a thing where you can run your bolts or nuts into to know exactly what you need. There's no second guessing it. And light goes on. I want to say that was 5. So yeah, you can turn until they literally stop. Don't turn anymore. 5. At least this will let me know what I actually have to buy tomorrow. So this is 6. we're supposed to be. So, and it just dead stopped right there. 7. 7. Number 8 is right in the center down here. And like I said, there is not a lot of room up front. So it is what it is. Gotta make do. So there's 8. Where's number 9? Number 9 is by the spark plug hole over here. So that's number 10. Number 11. That's a big search and rescue. Number 11's over here. Bottom of this spark plug well. And 12's going to be right on top. Let's tighten those guys up. Like I said, just once they dead stop, don't go anymore because you're supposed to do them in a 2-torque type sequence. So we'll snug them up and then we'll do it. So 12, 13, right here. That's 13, 14, bottom right. Bottom right. 15. Bottom left. Just absolutely covered with electrical, but don't be too frightened about the electrical because it all has a spot. I guess we'll never lose that extension in this number 15 spot because it's laying right against the bracket. It should never fall. 15 over here. My goal is pretty much tonight have this thing ready to start and run and see if we're good on timing and then see if we're good on leaks. 15, 16 over here. And my paperwork just fell all over the floor. $16, 17, center here. 17 and 18. Dab in the center here. So like I said, after that, we're gonna, now that we know we're pretty well tightened down once it stops. So now when we didn't have it stopped, but now that we're stopped, we go boom, 1/8 of a turn, done. We're gonna do that again for all of them. And then that will be torqued down. You can also, at this point, loosen this up. I'm going to show you guys how this new gasket goes on. And I will get some new hardware tomorrow. It's too late in the night tonight to get some. But we'll get that new bolt tomorrow for the front because we're missing one. I might find it. I might look for it and see if I can find it. So that guy comes out. The brand new one should go right back in. I don't believe there's a top or bottom. Looking at it, I'm not seeing any difference. Should just slip right on like it should be. And there we go. 1, 2. I won't say Kias are easy. They're pretty tight, really tight. But they're not super bad if you take your time. And the whole bolt hole repair stuff is totally doable. There you go. That's what we were talking about. That spring was ripped out. So, I mean, like I said, Kia's, this is really my first big involved Kia. And really wasn't that bad. I mean, I was a little bit, 1, 2, 3. I was a little bit intimidated by only have one shot to redo all the head bolts. Turn it just a little bit. Once they're actually tight, you turn them a little bit. 4 is the one we got to get a replacement for. Not a big deal. We'll get that tomorrow. Which is good because his friend, number 5, is also going to be an 8 on the head. Number 8. Number 8. Number 9. 9 is going to be over here. So dead stop, turn, maybe a little bit more. That's it. Number 10 is right next to it. Turn. Just tight enough, guys. It doesn't have to be crazy. Number 11. Number 11. Number 11 and 12 over here. There's 11. There's 12. 13 right here, 14 right down here, 15 bottom left, 16 top right. 17 over here in the middle, left. And 18 right over here. That's it. 1/4-inch ratchet and the palm of your hand, guys. That's all you need. So we are done there. We got our new gasket there. We didn't get one for the rear because, well, A, it didn't leak, and B, we didn't tear it to crap. It looks a little dark because we had it greased up when we were sliding things on. Brake cleaner, this and that. Look, the new one right there. So what do we got next? Here? We're on a roll. We're 30 minutes into a video here, which is kind of cool. Guess next up can be our high pressure fuel pump. Clean them up a little bit. Inspect our O-ring. O-ring looks good. It reeks of gas. To be expected, right? So we can get him on, right? I don't see no problem doing that. Again, that's why I'm not cleaning the outside of things, because that's where just debris builds up. Our O-rings on the inside, that's what matters. I'll put a rag in there real quick, but there ain't no crap in there. Just to make sure she's clean. We know our piston moves because I already showed you that before. You can just put your finger on it, pull it up and down. That's how these new cars work with these high pressure fuel pumps. Everything's very sensitive, and I've seen them where they wear out on the lobe. So if you're having fueling issues, that's one place to check, especially with GM. I don't know about Hyundai. I haven't really read anything about Hyundai having that issue, but I've read of other companies having that issue. Now, it should have gone like that, I believe. Yeah, because our fuel line coming in is coming from here, so common sense tells me this is the way it's got to go. So we'll get those guys on. This is spring tension, so they're going to have some resistance once you're driving them in. Don't want to do them cockeyed. Especially with an O-ring, you want to do it equal and even. Until she seats right now. The cam wheel's pushing it open, whatever that means. I don't know. I'm just hoping our timing's good and don't leak. You know what? That's all we were shooting for, was no more coolant consumption. Down pretty tight because it's going to have a lot of vibration on and off type stuff. That camo bouncing around. So with that done, what's next on our list? I guess we could do our high pressure fuel lines here. Trying to figure out how they actually went. I see the mounting bolt on the back side of the head here for that part. I'll remove that. There was a high pressure bolt right there, and there's supposed to be another one somewhere over here. See what happens with that in a minute. I'll undo the back one for right now. That's the hold down for him. All right. Kind of want to get this to kind of happy in its home. I don't really care about the front just yet because I was laying on this thing. So I believe the Front one might be over there. The big thing I want to get right now are these fuel lines into their home back here on the fuel rails, because it would suck to have to pull the whole intake plenum off again because of a fuel leak back here. So we'll do this first, and then we can massage the line back in. I believe my shirt got caught into this, and then it pulled it all up in the east bib. It didn't break it, but it did bend it, tweak it. You know, these lines are all stainless steel, so they do have a little bit of pliability in them. What size were they? I don't know. I'm hoping a 19 right now, but I believe it's going to be smaller than that. I really want to get that back one before I do the front one, because that one looks really more challenging than the front one. And these really didn't have a whole lot of, man, I had to rip these off. They were quite on the looser side of things for what they are. I was kind of shocked in a way. I don't know if that was another, yeah, 19's too big. I'm rolling off of it. So we have a 17. 17's perfect. Like I said, they weren't tight whatsoever. It was pretty easy to get them off. So you don't want to go crazy putting them on. Just give them a little tug. Treat it like an oil change. An oil filter. I don't know. Whatever you want to treat it like. There's no reason to go crazy with it. If I can get my wrench back, that would be nice. I guess that's the fun part of this. Like I said, they are flared fittings, so once you get them on a little bit, they ain't gonna leak. I just want to give it that little extra. I'm sure we're good right now, but I want to give it a little bit extra than that. Okay, that's perfect. Let's see what this got. I guess we're good enough. Awesome. We're good there. So next up will be the bottom guy, and if you remember, now I'm going to have a really difficult time. I know I am, because I put the crossover pipe in before I put in this high pressure fuel line. We'll be able to do it with a box wrench and probably a magnet. Not a big deal, but I just realized my mistake there. It's not really a mistake, but so that guy is going to go down there. Bubble flare goes in there. Really just want to get this guy kind of pretty firmly seated. And then we can worry about that bolt there and then that bottom one. I'm going to do that off camera because I know it's going to take more time than I wish I would want to think about. But that was my screw up. So we're tight there on our high pressure. Eventually we will get our this fuel line to go in. It wants to be, but I believe the intake plenum has to go on first, and then we can snap him into place. So I'm not worried about him right now. Move him out of the way. So off camera, I'm gonna do the 2 hold down bolts, which were very small bolts, and that's really it. Then we're gonna go back on camera. Oh yeah, I'm gonna figure out this wiring mess. I have to look at my photos and see, you know, what goes where. Does this go here? Does it go there? I believe this one went somewhere over here. We might need the intake plenum again. I won't know until I look at the photos. So those two things, and then we're gonna keep making a video. We're gonna get the lower intake plenum on after I clean the surfaces, and then work on that beautiful, wonderful upper one that, you know, I did off camera because it was being stubborn. And so 2 stubborn bolts, wiring, clean up the plenum. That's where we're at. We'll continue on. Just another reminder is don't forget your insulation here. It just lays on here. Same with the fuel pump. Before you put your intake manifold on, lower plenum. Kind of drops into place. We're going to put our bolts in. Allen bolts. Once I find the what is it? 6mm. So find that, we're going to tighten down this intake plenum. We're going to keep building it up like a building. But I really don't know, just like any mechanic. I don't know where I left it. 6mm. We're gonna find it, we're gonna bolt it down. Alright guys, so we got everything back together with all the wiring and vacuum lines, coolant hoses, fuel line. You know, all the hoses that I mentioned in the first video that we're holding this intake manifold in. Intake manifold's bolted down. Everything hooked up, so we haven't added cooling yet because I want to make sure this thing actually starts, runs before we actually do that. So this is going to be the true, like, first start. Is it going to start and run nicely? And if it does, then we're going to dump coolant into it. And then we'll wait for the temps to rise. We'll make a different video to make sure that temps hit and go down and make sure everything's kosher. So here we go. First start after all the things. Also, mind you, the top right fuel pump fuse. I did remove it and I cranked it over several times to prime the engine. There's 6 quarts of oil in it. So there's oil in the top end now. So here goes nothing. Did we screw it up? Or are we good? took a little long because of the high pressure fuel pump. Well guys, my camera battery died after that last part of the video, but that was a fun winter project. We're obviously now in springtime, but the car's been running great, no check engine lights, everything it's not overheating. That's the most important thing now, or eating coolant, and that, so we did good. And you know, car's still on the road, everybody's happy, and on to the next one.